Again, to anybody who's watching or listening, women are no longer defined at law. Well, at the very least, it confirms something you said. Bye-bye Sex Commissioner and the Act, and it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's effectively the net result of that.
Yeah, I mean...
If there are no men and there are no women, we're all just on a continuum.
Yeah, it's almost she's sort of talked herself in circles out of a job, which I think would be a positive thing to have happen.
Might save the taxpayer a few dollars.
Well, yeah, lots and lots of money, the millions of dollars a year that go into these commissions, where if they were functioning as they should in just a very dry way of making sure that the law was working as it should, that would be great. But we're currently here dealing with a sex discrimination commissioner who is interpreting the law incorrectly to fit an ideology. And within the law, there's lots of different issues. So how the Sex Discrimination Act was effectively how women, obviously how we got our rights, but female-only spaces were just allowed in them. It was because of this part called Section 7D. And that was basically the part that just went like, if it's for the equality between men and women, then there's no problem with it. And one of the spaces, say, that would fit under there is like breastfeeding rooms. It's like this is a special measure that is needed exclusively for women. One of the other side tries to sort of make this argument that you need to take out all of these definitions because you've got to be able to cater for trans men who might need to use it. So you can't make it a woman-only space because then, how would the trans men be able to use the breastfeeding place? And you're like, okay, let's break that down a little bit here. Because first of all, if you have such severe gender dysphoria or whatever, and you feel that you were born in the wrong body, that you have to live your life as a man, why are you having a baby? Why are you getting pregnant, doing the most female thing out of our body, like the most biggest difference between the male and female bodies? You're not triggered by pregnancy or breastfeeding, but if you're considered a woman who's doing it. It makes no sense. It's not supposed to. So anyone who's listening going, that makes no sense, you are correct. But women who claim to be men who do this, and there are some who have babies. In fact, that's the only time they ever get any media attention. While the men who claim to be women are winning awards and in sports and things like that, the women who claim to be men only get attention if they're having a baby. It's same sexism, different outfit. But under the normal law, they're allowed to come in because it's on the basis of sex. Their sex hasn't changed. So even if they think they're a man, it's irrelevant because of the basis of sex. And it was like the other side in the court case really couldn't get their head around this, that, say on Giggle, women who claim to be men or non-binary or whatever one of the other billion gender identities that exist, they're welcome on the app. Because it wasn't on the basis of gender identity. It was on the basis of sex. We didn't police thoughts. It was irrelevant. And a man who claims to be a woman is being treated exactly like any other man. Again, his gender identity is irrelevant because it's on the basis of sex. And I've spent 3 years now watching the Sex Discrimination Commissioner being like, I just don't know how this works. And I'm like, well, then why are you here? Why aren't you out there with doing the Gender Identity Discrimination Act? Or, I don't know, you should just be walking around with a sign saying I'm insane. Like, it's just, they're trying to erase sex and reality from legislation and force us all to believe in ideology under fear of punishment. And I just think that is possibly the most terrifying thing that could be happening to a society. And then on top of that, no one is giving it attention. They're just saying, the people in charge are going, it's just a culture war. It's like, no, these are your rights too. Do you want to be punished, even as a man? Do you want to be punished for acknowledging what you see with your own eyes, but it's against what the overlords say you're allowed to do? No. So it's why for 3.5 years I've been going around trying to get anyone who would let me speak and listen to me to be saying, this is not like a court case about just a little app with a silly name, Giggle v. Tickle. This is a really serious court case that impacts everybody, because if we don't have these rights to truth and reality, we have nothing.